fun, man. I cannot wait to watch you guys play.
Coming to you from the My Michigan TV studios.
We're going to kick you in the teeth.
It's the Roar Live.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
With hosts, the outsider, Scotty William.
Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
Mr. Tell It Like It Is, Corey Tiez.
The quicker you accept that, man, the better off we're all going to be.
With special guests, Lion fans across the nation.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Roar Live, streaming live on your My Michigan TV app, YouTube, Facebook, and beyond. So glad you decided to come along with us tonight. Big show on tap for you. Former Denver Bronco Pro Bowler and Alabama Sports Hall of Famer Bobby Humphreys will join us via Zoom. And of course, we want to hear from you. Just click that QR code that's going to be coming up on the screen so you can get in on the action. If you don't want to be seen but heard, hey, we have the Roar chat. And you can send your questions and comments to that. The Roar question this week, to get things started, what Detroit Lion has made more field goals inside the 20-yard line? Is it A, Jason Hanson, B, Eddie Murray, C, Earl Mann, or D, Wayne Walker? We'll take your guesses, and we'll find out at the end of the show what that answer is. We also have a Roar poll question. What NFC team would you not like to see in the playoffs? I think we've talked about this before, and we'll talk about it a little later, but that's something that you can answer on the comments and on the Zoom. So we have a final from the Windy City this afternoon. The Lions, 34, Bears, 17, and they have officially won 13 games for the first time in franchise history. We'll get to more into that with this man right here, Mr. Tell It Like It Is, Corey Tiez. Corey's going to have a lot to say about this game, I'm sure, with his guy, Caleb Williams.
I like Caleb.
But first, we would like to bring in our very special guest, Bobby Humphreys, former Pro Bowler of the Denver Broncos, and, of course, he is an Alabama Sports Hall of Famer, and he is the second winningest head coach in arena football history. And not only that, his son plays and is a very elite quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens.
Had a pick yesterday.
Yeah.
He's dope. He's good.
And Bobby?
All-star. How
are you, my friend?
Doing great. Happy to be on.
Well, we're glad to have you on. Listen, I know we talked a little bit about this via text and over the phone. You are a Dan Campbell fan. You like Dan Campbell?
I love Dan Campbell. I think he's always concerned about his team, not really concerned about nobody else's team, not concerned about what anybody think about him, not concerned about how anybody think about what he calls, when he calls it, what he does. He's only committed to his players, and he seemed to have his players totally committed to him. And he's very focused, seems like driven, and he plays football. I mean, I like the way he plays. I like the way he thinks. I sometimes question in my mind some of the calls he makes at certain times, but you know, the majority of the times he makes those calls and his guys execute them, and they accomplish their goals. I like a guy like that. Non-nonsense guy. Don't care if you like him or not. I mean, if you're concerned about him running up the score to him with darn, stop him from scoring. That's what I say. I mean, He runs a lot of trick plays. I just like everything about it. I think he's the right fit for the Lions at this particular point in time.
Bobby, as a player, you were no stranger to injuries. And what kind of a toll does it take on you mentally, especially when you're a team that's in contention for a Super Bowl and you're a big part of that? You know, you were with that Super Bowl team that took on the San Francisco 49ers. How does injuries affect you as a player? What does that do to you mentally?
It affects you extremely mentally. And not only mentally, from a physical standpoint, even if you're playing through an injury, it affects you in terms of the things that you feel like you're incapable of doing because of your injury handicapping you from doing those things. You know, when we played in the Super Bowl in the AFC Championship game against the Cleveland Browns, I suffered a hit in the ribs, and I had, kind of like heavily bruised ribs. So I didn't practice the first week, and then I had on some type of armored rib cage that they designed and made for me. But every time I hit the ground in that Super Bowl, you still felt the pain. You still had that mental block that I can't do what I normally would do if I'm totally healthy. So it's a mental thing for sure, but it's not just mental. It's also physical. You know, you're not able to go 100%. And whenever you play in a game at the NFL level, everybody is good. So it's not like an injury at Alabama, and we playing against, a team like a Memphis State at the time, which is now Memphis University. A game where you can kind of get by and not run as hard, don't have to put forth as much effort. But at the pro level, everybody's good. So you got to come to play every Sunday.
Let me ask you something, Bobby. You were a part of that 1990 season that saw you go to the Super Bowl with the Broncos. How grueling of a process is that for you as a player? And then you also, I know we talked a little bit about this before, you had to play the Browns in the regular season. You played them in the playoffs. You played the Steelers in the regular season, played them in the playoffs. How hard is it each time to play these teams? The more and more you play them, the more and more obviously you get familiar with them, but especially in the playoffs. I mean, is that a grueling process also?
It's grueling and challenging. It's tough to beat. It's tough to win in the NFL for one thing, but it's also tough to beat a team 2, possibly 3 times. And in a situation that we were in, we actually split with Cleveland that year, and we actually beat them in the AFC Championship game. So it was kind of one of those games where we went on the road and they beat us there, then we beat them home, then we had to play them again, and then the same thing, with Pittsburgh, we played them twice. Yeah. And it's kind of hard. It's hard to beat a team once. It's almost, close to impossible to beat them twice. Yeah. But then it is almost not even heard of beating them 3 times. Mm-hmm. And, you get a little bit of familiarity with them. They know, and they know what you're trying to do. And we know what they're trying to do. And you kind of got some familiarity there. So it's really tough. And then, the losing team is it's kind of going in the game with, hey, man, we got nothing to lose. We're going to throw everything at them. We done lost twice. So they got a little bit more of a chip on their shoulders than a team that has beat them already. So, yeah, that is very challenging. And then when you're talking about getting to the postseason, the postseason is basically it's everybody starting all over again from day one. Right. It's as well as you was. I know you noticed. I noticed you said coming in on the show that this first time in history the Detroit Lions has won 13 games. That's quite an accomplishment. But at the end of the regular season, nobody gonna really think about how many games they won in the regular season.
Exactly.
It's time for a whole new season. They're going to be coming at you a whole different, a different way when it comes to the playoffs.
Yep. Agreed.
Do you have any questions for us?
Oh, yeah. I got a quick question for you, Bobby. So a couple of years ago, a few years ago, actually, they were, folks were talking analytics and do away with the running back and, pass. How important, I think it's very important. How important do you think establishing the running game in today's game is?
I think establishing the running games takes pressure off the entire offense. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big analytical guy. Right. I believe if you end every series with a kick, you got a good shot of winning the ball game. Okay. I mean, and I know a lot of people said, well, analytics say this is the time for you to go for it on fourth down. I believe in taking the points when you can, and I think when you need to go for it on fourth down, when you need to go for it for a 2-point conversion, the game will present itself where you have no chance and no option but to do that. Now, that's me. Wow. Okay. That's me as a coach. Now, everybody don't coach that way now because you go in this analytical thing and, the thing about analytics, it don't involve the wind, the temperature, the rain. You can't factor all those in when you're thinking about analytics. But I think a strong running games defeat any analytical process that you're thinking about. Because you notice when, I'm a Ravens fan. My son played for the Baltimore Ravens. When you get Derrick Henry going, but when you get Gibbs going there with the Detroit Lions, Goff can do whatever he want to do. Yep. When you get that running game going, and that coach can call whatever he want to call when it's hard to stop the run. So I believe in establishing a run. I think if you got a solid running game, you got a chance of going a lot further than you do if you don't have a good running game. So I don't believe in. Now I know they have devalued the running back. Now back in my days, the running backs were very valuable.
Yes.
We were very valuable.
Yes.
But now they have kind of devalued them. But I think now people are realizing that when you got a Gibbs, when you got a Barkley, when you got a Derrick Henry, when you got those guys toting the rock for you, you can be a little bit more. You can open up the playbook a little wider and do some things that you normally wouldn't do if those guys weren't back there toting the mail for you.
Right. Okay.
Let me ask you a question real quick. You actually played with John Elway. What do you think of Jared Goff? Do you think he's getting into that John Elway category? I know he's looking at me crazy, but what do you think of Jared Goff?
What did I just miss here?
Well, it took John Elway a minute to win a couple Super Bowls. So, what do you think, Bob? Do you think Goff is headed in that direction?
Well, you know what? I've always been a big time Jared Goff fan.
Oh, okay.
And I even became a bigger fan of his when I thought he kind of got kicked out in the cold by the Rams. Mm-hmm. I thought that was I didn't like that because I thought he did a great job out there, but obviously all things work in mysterious ways, and he is loving where he's at now. The fans love him. He's tearing it up. I mean, the coach Campbell kind of just loves him, and the team. Mm-hmm. It's just amazing how things work out. And I've always been a fan of him since when he first came to the league. I think he's going to be a really, really good quarterback to get to the John Elway, and I also played with Dan Marino. To get to that level, I think he's getting there, but he's not there. Obviously, winning some playoff games, getting to the championship game, and winning a Super Bowl here and there, I think that helps get him there a lot quicker. But I think he has the potential to be as great as he want to be, especially with the weapons you have. Yeah. You got to realize those guys back then, it's a new age now, but those guys back then kept a core group of players together.
Yes.
It wasn't as much trading and much, you think about the Terry Bradshaw. He had Lynn Swann and Starward for a number of years. You take, Joe Montana. Joe Montana had Jerry Rice and those guys for a number of years. So you get a chance to kind of keep those guys in pocket, and those guys will make a quarterback. They can make things go, and when they're playing for you. But nowadays, salary cap and trades and all that there is happening. Our team, a good receiver could bounce around 2 or 3 teams.
Yep.
But I think he's on the path.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this: you were a head coach with in the AF and the Marina Football League, second winningest head coach, as we looked up those stats. As a coach, what do you do when you are faced with the numerous amount of players that are on the IR, like the Detroit Lions? How does that affect your game plan going in and out of each week when you just basically don't know who's going to go down next?
I don't think I've ever been in a situation that I think the Detroit Lions were in, as well as, we played Pittsburgh yesterday, and they were down Pickens. Had 3 guys in the secondary that was out, and then Porter got hurt in the game. Yeah. It's a lot easier to, it's a lot manageable to know it going in, but it don't help when you get in the ball game and then you have some injuries to pile on. Yeah. This time of the year is very different. I was shocked the Lions was able to dominate the game the way they dominated it today. That just speak volumes of really the organization, their scouting department, knowing that their tools can step in and they got a good practice squad, good group of guys on practice squad that they can elevate up, and most importantly, those coaches can build confidence. Yeah. But then those guys to go out and be able to perform and execute. That's got a lot to do with coaching. It's frustrating for a coach, but a coach's job is just get every guy ready. Yeah. And hope he's performed. And obviously, with those guys performing the way they performed today, Dan Cameron and his staff has done a really good job in preparation and preparing for those guys. You want your ones and your guys out there, but if you can have some guys to step in until you can get those guys healthy before they make their last run through the playoffs, that just makes it great. But it's very difficult. But you got to have a staff to be able to get guys ready, and I think those guys are really ready today. And you take this is the time of the year where injuries pile up, and them being able to get some of the backups in and get some guys in place. Now they got the confidence that if somebody was to go down now, they won't be as they don't have to. They won't have to miss all that sleep at night. They can get a little bit.
I got one more question for
you. Go ahead.
I got one more question for you, Bobby. You were, I think you were All-American 86, 87, right? Alabama. What do you think now about the transfer portal in college? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, I'm kind of two-way forward with the transfer portal. I think the transfer portal was designed to be able to allow players the opportunity to be able to change teams or change their situation based on other situations that occur. And those situations were more meaningful. Transfer portal now has turned into a young man that may be playing behind a junior or a sophomore that started and played the last 2 years, and that particular kid don't get any playing time because he's behind somebody that's been there 2 years and that's a solid player. and they jump in the portal because they're upset or whatever. It's a variety of reasons. But the way the transfer portal worked with somebody like a Jalen Hurst is the way I think when they had it, when they initially came out with it, that it was the purpose of it. The purpose of the transfer portal was that if a coach who recruited you, and he likes you and he likes your skills, and he recruited you, but he decides to go take another job, then that gives that kid an opportunity to leave because you don't know what the new coach coming in may want to do. So it was supposed to be a benefit for a young man whose circumstances change. But now it's not that. It's you know, you got kids now making bad decisions. Kids get in the portal without even not getting advice from their parents. Parents don't even know they're in the portal. They get upset with the coach, and you know, just a variety of reasons. You know, if they friend decide to leave, and they won't leave. You know, it's just reasons that I think athletes don't factor in. So I still think it's something that works. I think they need to tweak it a little bit. I don't think a kid needs to transfer them from school to school to school, because you got to realize everybody's not going to the NFL and everybody's not playing professionals. So at least you can get an education in the process. And when all this transferring takes place, then the kid get lost in the shuffle where he stands in terms of this education. And you got kids sitting in the transfer portal now that are there, and now they don't even have a scholarship.
Wow.
And they can't go to no school because nobody got them out of the portal. So I think something that was meant for good has been used in a way that is not so good for all those young men.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
So
listen,
I don't know if that answered your question or not, but that's kind of
absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense.
Well, you played for the great Bear Bryant there in Alabama, and of course the Detroit Lions are filled with Alabama players. Are you pretty proud of what these guys have accomplished so far in their young careers?
I am. And just a correction there, I actually miss Coach Bryant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was with, if you know the coaching hires that came out to Bryant was Ray Perkins. You guys remember Ray Perkins, Coach Perkins?
Yes.
He's with the Giants. Left the Giants, came to Bama. He went back to the NFL and coached with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay, so, but he was there my first 2 years at Alabama. Okay. And then Curry came in, and I played for Curry, and all these guys are retired, but y'all should be, you guys are football guru, y'all should know these, be familiar with these names. Ray Perkins, and I played for Curry for 2 years, and then after Curry was Gene Stallings. Gene Stallings actually won a national championship. In '92, and then they kind of, you went through some, like, you know, Mike Price, you know, a few coaches. Then you got all the way through a few coaches. Then you got to say Mike Schuler, Mike Price, Coach Franchione, who came and left Alabama, went to Texas A&M. But no, I was with Perkins and Curry. I split time 2 and 2 with both of them. So, but your question was, I gave you all that history. Now I forgot what the actual question was.
Oh, it was. Are you pretty proud of the bunch of Lions that they have done so far in their young career? Terrion Arnold, Branch, Jamison, Gibbs.
Those guys are really making Alabama fans and former players proud. They are doing extremely well. You know, Terrion Arnold was a kid that I watched and really loved. You know, for an offensive guy and an offense coordinator and a running back, I tend to watch defense more now than I do offense. Might have a little bit to do with Marlon Humphrey.
Right.
So do you have any end of the
Pro
season?
Bowler, by the way.
Do you have any end of season predictions? Are you predicting you think the Ravens are going to go to the Super Bowl? I know you got Marlon there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're gonna play the Detroit Lions.
Okay. And I think I know what your prediction is in the Michigan-Alabama bowl game coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Down about 14.
Well, Bobby, thanks for coming on with us today. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Loved all the insight that you've given us into head coaching and as a player. Anything you want to promote while we have you on?
No, man, I don't have anything, man. I just enjoy talking about sports and football, man. I appreciate you guys for having me on, man. I know this is a Detroit-based show, but I love the Detroit Lions. I love the way they play. So I guess I wouldn't say I'm a closet Detroit fan because I'm not in, the Ravens are not in the NFC. We're in the AFC. So
Right.
I'm out of the closet Detroit Lions fan, I guess.
Bobby, thanks so much. I hope maybe we can get you back on later in the season when we get into the playoffs. Maybe when they hopefully take on the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
That sounds great.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Bobby.
Thanks a lot,
Really
Bobby.
appreciate
Thank
you.
Take care, guys. Merry
All right.
Christmas to you all.
Merry Christmas
Thank
to
you.
you. You are watching the Roar Live right here on your My Michigan TV app, YouTube, Facebook, and beyond. Corey, let's get into some highlights, shall we?
Yeah.
For the Detroit Lions today. Jared is going to pull up the highlight reel for us. It started early, quarter one. Jake Bates hits this 30-yarder to make the Lions up 3-0 early in the first. But they wouldn't stop there. Jahmyr Gibbs would take a 1-yard handoff and put the Lions up 10-0. The Lions would then score again on Mr. Bigfoot himself, a 34-yard field goal from Jake Bates to put them up 13-0 to end the first quarter. The second quarter, well, the Lions would go off again. Jamison Williams would take this 82-yard touchdown pass from Jared Goff, but the Bears would respond. This time, Caleb Williams hits Cole Kmet for a 1-yard touchdown to put him up on the board in the second quarter. St. Brown would then score a touchdown. This one an 8-yard touchdown to put the Lions up 27-7 in the second. Keenan Allen and the Bears would strike again, 45 yards, 27-14 to end the first half of the Bears-Lions game. And then after that, folks, quarter three, that was the last score we would have. It would be Sam Laporta with a 21-yard touchdown catch from Jared Goff, 34-14. That's how that game ended. And since I've talked so much so far,
No, you're good.
give me
You're the host.
your picks. I mean, what are you thinking? Did this surprise you that they were able to come out after getting punched in the mouth? Dan Campbell, I felt Dan Campbell did exactly what he said, even though it was against a kind of a lowly Bears team. But they were able to. This game looked a lot different than Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah. The Bears are a mess. The Bears, they're a mess. They stink. They, they've gone downhill. We were just talking about this before the show. They've gone downhill since the Hail Mary Washington game. They can't block. Penalties, Goff throws an interception, it hits you right in the chest, you drop. You're not good enough to come back. Every game they don't start scoring until the second half. They're just a mess. Coaching, everything. They better get somebody in there quick before this thing goes south. I'm impressed with the Lions coming out, taking care of business. They cleaned up the mess from last week, looks like to me. And once again, every week, this Gibbs kid, special. He is special. I noticed one thing today that I really liked. I saw Dan Campbell. I saw Coach Campbell really getting in the ear of Jamison Williams after the taunting. He pulled him aside. He looks like he was not so much yelling at him, but teaching him.
Right.
And I think that's going to go a long way with Campbell. Everybody knows I don't think Campbell's a great coach, but he is a good coach and he is a good leader of men. He pulled that kid to the side and told him, hey, enough clown show here. And he's going to make him, he needs to stay right where he is and get coached by this guy because he's going to keep him on the professional path. So big ups to Campbell on that. I saw that and I was like, wow, the Lions they're a serious bunch. They look good today. Again, the Bears aren't, they're not much. They have to get a coach in and get this kid some help, Caleb. But I was impressed the way the Lions came out and took care of business today.
You are watching the Roar Live right here on My Michigan TV. We have a Roar question for you today, and that question is this. Who has the most field goals inside the 20-yard line? Is it A, Jason Hansen, B, Eddie Murray, C, Earl Mann, or D, Wayne Walker? That is the question. You can get in on the Roar chat just like Sammy from Inkster did. He picks C, Earl Mann, as his answer to the Roar question. And he also says, great game today by the Lions. They did what they had to do, win another division game. And that's exactly what they did.
So so did I hear this correct? They never won 13 games in a season?
Never.
Wow. That made Campbell the greatest coach?
Surprising you?
No. But I didn't know. I mean, wow. That's huge. That's big. That's big time. Yeah. They
Well, like Bobby said, I mean, it all starts over come playoff time.
Well, I've been saying that. I've always said, like, the regular season is for seeding to me. You want to win obviously you want to win as much as you can, but you want to get that seed. It's a different season. It's a whole new season. Everybody starts from ground zero again. So Bobby was right with that. It's and you want to stay healthy. The Lions haven't, but a lot of teams haven't been healthy. The Lions beat a lot of teams that were unhealthy, but they've stayed the course. They've won a lot of games, and congratulations to them for winning. First time in history winning 13 games. I didn't know.
Well, we want to hear from you. On the screen coming up is the QR code to get in on the action. And we want to hear your comments. Maybe you have answers to the Roar question. Maybe the Roar poll. The Roar poll question is, what team do you want to see the least in the playoffs? What NFC team? For me, I think I don't want to see the Vikings again. I mean, I know they'll play them at the end of the season. That could actually decide who the division winner is, and maybe a 1 or 2 seed in the playoffs. I think the Vikings Packers for me. What do you think, Joe?
I'm going Rams.
Okay.
Because they have the best quarterback. Think back to week 1.
I'm just shocked that you're saying that.
No. Think back to week 1. Stafford played great with no help. Could have won that game. And the reason why I say, like I said, he's the best quarterback in the NFC. So, and they're healthy. So they're the team with the most weapons that can compete and can keep up with the Lions. That's the most dangerous. Then Green Bay. I trust Love. I really don't trust Darnold.
Okay.
Good team. We'll have to see what happens. But I would say the Rams, and don't count out the Buccaneers. And the reason why I say the Buccaneers, they play nasty. Baker plays with a chip. Stafford plays with a chip. They have something to prove, those two. Stafford wins another Super Bowl, he's a Hall of Famer. Baker wants to get to a Super Bowl. So he's one of those kids that you have to look out for. And that team, that defense, they play well. They beat the Lions this year, and they didn't have a front line. So it could go either way with both of those squads. But I would say the Rams.
Well, the Rams, they gave them a hard time this year.
And people keep saying Philly. I don't trust Hurts. Like I don't know if they're gonna cry and say Brown's not getting the ball that day, or Saquon has too many yards, or Sirianni's going to go talk to a fan during the game. I don't know what's going to happen with Philly, so I can't trust them. I can trust Stafford. He's going to go anywhere and play in the playoffs. So,
well, speaking of the Rams, they defeated the New York Jets 19-9.
my Lord.
I think the Jets just need to. If anybody needs to tank for a first round, the first pick, it's the Jets.
You better start looking for a quarterback. Yeah. And I don't want no beef with Aaron Rodgers because I hear he's beefing with everybody right now, but you got to gut that.
Right.
You have to gut it.
Other games throughout the NFL, the Chargers defeated the Broncos 34-27.
Okay.
They got back on track.
Yeah, got back on track.
The Chiefs defeated the Texans 27-19. Tank Dell goes out with a dislocated kneecap. And I'll tell you that the Texans, who I thought were going to be a team that would maybe be up there in a championship game with the Chiefs, they have not looked good all year round. I think it might be Stephon Diggs. What do you think? Anywhere Stephon Diggs goes. I mean, he was with the Bills. Josh Allen couldn't get over there. They had a beef.
Well, he's
I mean, I know Diggs is hurt, but I mean, maybe it's the Stephon Diggs thing. I don't know.
Yeah, they've had a lot of injuries too. They had a lot of injuries. I just feel sorry for the kid. You know, Stroud was crying. It was bad.
Ravens 34-17 over the Steelers today.
Yeah.
Your thought?
It's again, Lamar. Bobby said it. Give the ball to Henry. You got to get the ball to Henry. He had 162 yards today. Give him the ball. Like Pittsburgh, I think, like I said, I think Tomlin's the coach of the year. But I don't think that they're not AFC champ. No. The team that's winning the Super Bowl is the Kansas City Chiefs. So everything else is really, but yeah, Lamar, you never know which Raven, they're kind of like Philly. Stick to the script. Give Henry the ball. Just give Henry the ball. Everything else will work itself out.
How about this? The Falcons over the Giants, 34-7. They bench Kirk Cousins. Penix comes in, throws for 202 yards, one interception. Didn't look all that great. They relied on Bijan Robinson today with 2 touchdowns. Yeah. You know, that's another disaster in the making, the Falcons.
Kirk Cousins, he's going to get, $90 million to play 14 games?
Yeah.
Shame on the Falcons. Some stuff is just there in front of you. Yeah, and Penix coming out, he didn't do anything great. He just beat the Giants. Right. We can beat the Giants. So that's going to, I don't know how that's going to play out over there. I don't know. I don't know how that is.
Here's another one. Final in OT. The Panthers over the Cardinals. Everybody was getting so high on the Cardinals recently.
Why?
And they go and lose to the Panthers.
Why?
In OT.
Why were they getting high on the Cardinals?
Well, that's
for what?
You know how that is. People want to get on the bandwagon of these teams that rattle off these wins in a row, and you know
it's every week it changes. One day it's Philly, let's say it's the Lions. Come on, man, this is crazy.
Here's a game: Commanders over the Eagles. Another loss for the Eagles. Are the Eagles showing fraud?
I'm not going to go 100% fraud.
Okay.
They are a good team. I just think there's the outside noise has gotten in the way. You know, it happened before. Like this guy, Sirianni, he's winning, and he may get fired because it's so much chaos with him, the quarterback, the receivers, the defensive backs, this, that. It's all a mess, and it's leaked. That's the last thing you want to happen. Keep the locker room inside of the locker room. So that's why I say I can't really trust that. You never know what's going to happen with them. Again, give Saquon the ball and win the game. Like, you got a diva wide receiver screaming that he wants more touches. So until they get all that squared away, I don't know. It may be time for a new leadership, you know, as far as a head coach there. I don't know. But I don't trust Philly. I don't.
Joe Burrow and the Bengals win today over the Browns. Not surprising.
Who cares?
Browns are a mess.
Yeah, Browns are a total mess.
Colts pull out a win against the Titans.
What is that?
That is
that's irrelevant. Just like tonight, It's going to be irrelevant.
Games that are being played right now, Seahawks are tied up with the Vikings. Now, if you're a Lions fan, you definitely want the Seahawks to pull off a victory here. That is in the second quarter. Patriots-Bills. Patriots up on the Bills 7-0. Jaguars and Raiders have no score. Dolphins, 49ers, no score. And, of course, tonight, Buccaneers against your beloved Cowboys.
Yep.
Any predictions on that?
Buccaneers win.
Okay.
Cooper Rush, the quarterback.
And then, of course, tomorrow we have the Saints versus the Packers. That's another game that
you
want to
gotta
see.
kinda watch
You
that
want
one,
to see
yeah.
the Packers
Yeah.
lose if you're a Lion fan.
Yeah. Green Bay's tough. They're hot. You know, they got a good team and well coached.
Well, the Roar question this week is what Detroit Lion kicker has made the most field goals inside the 20-yard line? Now, we always talk about the big yardage field goals, you know, the 50, the 60-yarders.
Yep.
Is this A, Jason Hansen, B, Eddie Murray, both of those longtime kickers for the Detroit Lions? Earl Mann, you got to go back to I believe, the 70s for Earl Mann.
Okay.
And Wayne Walker would be, I think that's a late 60s, early 70s for him.
Okay.
Do you have any predictions on that?
They're trying to trick me with this. I'm going Hansen.
You're going Hansen.
Just because Hansen made 100-yard kicks and all that, I'm still going Hansen. They're trying to trick me with the Walker and Mann stuff.
You can get in on your answer on the Roar chat. Pick your answer just like Tabitha from West Bloomfield said. She thinks it's Earl Mann. Well, we will see.
Okay.
Coming up later on, she says the Lions did what they had to do today, and Gibbs showed out.
Always. He's a mess. Do they need Montgomery?
Not today, they did.
Yeah, Gibbs is a monster. No question about
and
it.
Jamison went off today.
Yeah. Yep.
I see, you get Laporta in there.
Yep.
I mean, I just like to see how Montgomery's going to supposedly rehab this injury to come back. That's what they're saying. He wants to rehab it. I don't know.
Didn't they say at first he was
They were
done?
going to be done for the season, but he said he got some second or third opinions and said he was going to rehab it, so we could have him back maybe for a playoff.
Well, he's a tough kid.
Yeah.
He's a tough kid, so we'll see how that goes. I hope he gets back. I want all the players there to enjoy this. I want them all to play and enjoy, having an opportunity to win the Super Bowl.
You can get in on the action. That is the QR code to scan and get in on with your comments. We want to hear from you, just like we hear from our friends all over the nation, Lion fans all over the nation, from California to Birmingham, Alabama. We've heard them all. Eastvale Joey, Hollywood Reggie, all these guys getting in on the conversation each and every
Lion
week.
fans all over the world.
What's your biggest takeaways today in this Lions game?
The bounce back from the loss, easy, hands down. They came out. They took advantage of the opportunities that they had, that Chicago presented to them, all their miscues. Lions played clean. They bounced back after the loss. Coach Campbell said they were gonna clean things up. They were gonna get back down to business and grit, and they dominated the game today. That's the most impressive with that. And like I said, Coach Campbell getting in the ear of his soon-to-be superstar wide receiver, telling him to tone it down. We can't afford that. We don't need that. Just continue to play the game the right way. So I was impressed with the bounce back.
Yeah, 475 total yards for the Detroit Lions today, 329 in the air, 146 on the ground. They averaged 7.4 yards per play.
Yep.
And when you look at the time of possession, they only held the ball 2 more minutes than the Bears.
They look good. Like I said, the thing I love about them, the thing I like about them, is that they don't care if it's 3rd and 6, it's 3rd and 7. They're going to give the ball off to Gibbs. He can get it. That is going to be hard to stop in any game whether it be the NFC Championship, the Super Bowl, whatever. If you give him the ball to your running back and he can get you 6 yards on third down and 7 yards on third consistently, all your defense has to do is hold up. That's it.
I totally agree.
End of story. That's it. It's not rocket science. See, everybody wants to analytics. It's not analytics. That's ruined sports to me. Analytics. No, the dunk is still better than the three-point shot. See ball, hit ball, catch ball, throw ball, steal the base. That's it. What's analytics about that?
Right.
Stop Jordan. You can't stop him. He's the best player. There's no analytics to that. Muhammad Ali was the greatest. Analytics is going to knock you out. He's fast.
Right.
Everything is tablets and this and that. Forget it. Just go out there and play. Bobby Humphrey, back in his day, like you said, the running back was valued. Now it's showing back again that it's valued. Run the ball, play action, balance like the Lions have. They're the most balanced team in football. And you'll have success. You don't have to do all this analytics and is he going to go over here and throw over there and no.
Well, the Lions travel to San Francisco next week. Any predictions there? This could be a little bit of a trap game to me. You know what I'm saying?
It could be ugly. It's on the road.
I mean, they've played very well on the road this year.
They play on the road. On the road. San Francisco.
You never know what you're going to get with
You
them.
never know what you're going to get. Just like Seattle, you never know what you're going to get with those guys. But they are physical too. So it'll be a matchup of two physical teams, and they're hurt just like the Lions. They have a lot of injuries just like the Lions. So we'll see. It could be an ugly game. It could be a trap game. I don't like trap. It's just going to be two teams out there going at it, playing hard. I don't think Shanahan's going to, let up because their season is over. But I think it's going to come out to.
Well, I think the Lions are going to want to go in there and punch him in the mouth.
Yeah, they should. They beat them last year. San Francisco beat them. Rematch game.
What do you feel like the division's going to end up with? You got the Vikings last game of the season. Do you think that's going to – I'm wondering if that game is going to end up being a who wins the division, who gets the number one seed.
Yeah. That number one seed is important. It's going to be important because, like I said, you don't have to win as many games. And, obviously it's an easier path to the Super Bowl. So I don't know. I actually want to see the Lions go to the Super Bowl. I changed my tune.
Really?
I don't think they're going to win it.
I'm surprised.
But I changed my tune. You know why I want them to go? Because I want them to play Mahomes. Because this is what started all this chaos when they beat Mahomes in the regular season without his players. So I want to see that rematch.
You think Casey's going to get there?
Yep. No question about it. They got the best player in football.
You don't think Josh Allen's going to
And I like Josh. I was the one that said Josh was dope. He was dope. He's good. I love Josh. But until you prove it, and they're listen, the three-peat is right there. That's the motivating factor. We're talking this could put Andy Reid GOAT coach. Because I don't think Belichick's the GOAT. I think he's the greatest defensive mind. But I don't think he's the greatest coach, all-around coach. Andy Reid wins 3 Super Bowls. This is, we're re-talking this. We're rethinking this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Lynn Raymond says, Jason Hansen on our Roar trivia question.
I said Hansen.
Jason Hansen.
Jason Hansen.
Now, he was known for some long kicks.
Yes, he was.
He was known
he was
for.
Very good.
He's definitely known for being here quite a while. I think he was here 20-some years.
Yeah, he was.
20 seasons.
Yeah.
So, Lynn, thank you for that question. Thank you for that answer. Reg, I think that's Hollywood Reg. Says, great interview with Bobby. We appreciate you, Reg.
Thanks, Reg.
We wanted you to call in, but, hey, if all you can get is a comment from you, buddy, we'll take that. We'll take that. We'll definitely take that from you.
The Lions have had some great, kickers. Let's not forget that.
Oh, yeah,
They had a string of great kickers. They got one now. But they had some great kickers throughout history. Yep.
The poll question is this. What team would you least want to see, NFC team, in the playoffs? And Steven from Westland says, definitely the Buccaneers. That would be another rematch. And Bobby stated earlier on in the show how hard it is to beat a team not only once, but not only twice, but, you know, it's all unheard of to beat them 3 times.
Yeah.
I think anybody in the North Division, I don't want to see them at all.
Really?
Just because you've already played them twice.
Right.
You beat the Packers twice.
Kind of like the
We
odds.
don't know what we're going to see
Right.
with the Vikings
Right.
come end of the season.
Right.
The Buccaneers punched you in the mouth and won.
Yep.
So I would say the Buccaneer that is a good
That's a good
that
call.
is a good one. Yeah, definitely.
Great defense.
Do you have a tell it like it is?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Why don't we get that tell it like it is?
Okay, so again, the theme here, to keep up with the theme, is the Super Bowl. I just wanted to go back with some stats here. Okay. Because we're a stat show. You're a stat guy. Mm-hmm. So remember when golf, and hey, listen, golf has played MVP. He's played lights out all year. But remember when golf was in, what was it, Super Bowl 53, right? I think it was? Something like that. Okay, so you know the Rams had the number 1 offense. No, number 2 offense then.
Oh, yeah, but they also had a Todd Gurley that was pretty much unstoppable, and they didn't have him in the playoffs.
Exactly. They had the number 2 rated defense. I'm going to throw out a few names here. Darnold, Aaron, Sue. Sue had 59 tackles. Donald had 20 and a half sacks with 59 tackles. And they had Littleton. He had 125 tackles, right? Their corners were Talib, Peters, and I think it was Johnson. The score was 13-3, right? We know Goff can get there. He had all of this. They scored 3 points. The similarities, Lions got tons of weapons, great running back, a worse defense. They had Hall of Famers, and the Rams had Hall of Famers. See where I'm going with this?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not that Goff can't play. It's not that he's not good. He's in the MVP race this year. It's the game. It's the game and the defense. That's going to hold up the Lions.
Well, let me ask you this. If with all the injuries that they've had, obviously 20, I think they have 20 on the IR as when I looked at before the game today. If they get to the Super Bowl, if they win the Super Bowl, you could almost say that this could be probably one of the best Super Bowl runs in NFL history.
No, I'm not going to say that. No, I'm not going to say that. What I am going to say is the injuries that the Lions have. So everybody's injured
Well,
right now.
to get there and win with the depleted defense.
Okay.
Because you and Tony have always said you got to have the number 1 or number 2 defense to win a Super Bowl.
No. We said we got to have the number 1 and number 2 with an average quarterback and an average coach.
Okay.
You don't have to have you don't have to have that. I'm just with an average quarterback and average coach, a la Dilfert and that sort of thing. Now, again, Goff's lights out all year. Who are the Lions like? So they're injured.
Right.
Who are the Pro Bowlers or the All Pros that are injured on the Lions? Because I don't keep up with them like that. But who's the All Pros and the Pro Bowlers that are injured?
Well, does it have to be? You have to have all Pro Bowlers in order to be considered a great. I think that's a crappy title.
No, sir. Yeah, a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is, they're they're not the greatest guys anyway. The guys that are injured, are they the all-stars that make the? I mean, I know you guys say Hutch.
Well, I mean, I think what you're seeing is a defense that's playing as a team.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So they're going to have to carry that mentality through because you don't have anybody that's just going to just come in and, you don't have a shutdown corner. You don't have a superstar pass rusher. You have a team. So but that'll get exposed, I think, with a Mahomes or Allen. So the people keep saying, I don't want to hear injuries. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it anymore. Lions are. You played everybody that was injured. Buccaneers, Rams, Cowboys had 4 Pro Bowlers out. Seattle had Pro Bowlers out. Buccaneers, everybody had injuries when you beat them. Fine, you beat them. No excuses. I don't want to hear the excuses about injuries because I don't think you have big-time difference makers that are injured anyway. That's just my thinking. So.
Okay. Well, you are watching The Roar Live right here on My Michigan TV, YouTube, Facebook, and beyond. The Roar question this week. We'll get to it now. That question is this. What Detroit Lion kicker had more field goals inside the 20-yard line?
I was right.
Is it A, Jason Hansen, B, Eddie Murray, C, Earl Mann, or Wayne Walker? Everybody's been saying, everybody has been saying Jason Hansen thus far, except for somebody else. I think it was Tabitha.
Did Tabitha?
Did Tabitha
she
say
said
Earl Mann?
She said man. I think she said man.
Well, guess
going
what,
Hansen.
everybody?
I'm right.
The winner of this poll is C, Earl Mann. He has 25. He had 25
Really?
field goals made inside, so it'll be 19 yards or less. 25 good career. Jason Hansen, look at these numbers here. Jason Hansen only had 10 total in 20 seasons. Eddie Murray was here for quite a bit.
Yeah, he had only had
9, and Wayne Walker had 11. Earl Mann is the answer, 25.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Tabitha was right.
Tabitha was right. Good job, Tabitha.
Tell us what Tabitha's won.
Tabitha, we're gonna have to come up
Yeah,
with some
yeah, we gotta-
Roar paraphernalia.
The
something.
fans need to win something once
Yes.
they do this trivia. We need to get
Or some Roar
email
shirts or
yeah,
something.
get
right?
the email, and send something out or something. That's a good job, Tabitha. Good
Great job,
Yep.
Tabitha. Well, the Lions will be on Monday Night Football next week. That's right. The Detroit Lions, Monday Night Football next week against the San Francisco 49ers. We will have your post-game action right after the game. It'll be late, but it won't be late for our West Coasters.
Nope.
So there's no excuse.
Stay tuned. Stay with us.
Eastvale Joey, all our friends in California that would like to call in, we want to hear from you. It'll be a late night, but we want to hear from you. We'll have more for you next time. Well, go ahead.
I got one thing.
Yes.
I got one set. Congratulations to the Lions. 13 wins. I just want to send prayers out to the family of Ricky Henderson.
Yes.
The iconic Ricky Henderson. The best leadoff man ever to play the game. Not even close. Hands down. The guy could do everything. And I just want to send out prayers to him and his family. Rest in peace, Ricky Henderson.
Well, everybody, we want to thank you for tuning in this week, and we also would like to wish you a happy holidays. We'll see you after Christmas, and we'll be on right after the 49ers and Lions.
Yep.
Monday Night Football. We will see you next time on The Roar Live. I'm Scotty William, Corey Tiez. See ya. We had a caller chime in on the YouTube.